Hello everybody and welcome to Sunless Skies, a game where you are a conductor on a train that flies through space! Let's just get right into it because I don't know enough to go ooh. If you die, you can only continue with a new captain. If you die, you can reload or continue with a new captain. Legacy campaign or merciful campaign? Let's make it legacy. Standard, none. So you could make your playthrough like really easy and forgiving. Or you can make your playthrough like mine, where you have to use a lot of skill and management. I just realized I'm basically playing on the hardest difficulty right now. Will this screw me over in the future? Most likely. Do I care? No. The son of the Blue Kingdom reigns over the domain of the dead in splendor and majesty. What? Ooh! Fail Better Games presents. Ooh! Oh. I'm Space Train! You return to the Reach, an untamed sunless span of heavens. London New Frontier, a celestial garden run wild. Dodge left, dodge right. Oh, chugga chugga, motherfucker. March 16th, 1905. Your Majesty, your journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous. God, are we gonna have some really big words in this game? Your locomotive is damaged and your captain's wildly damaged. Okay. Oh, we are hurting. Cargo cruise control. March 16th, 1905. As first officer, the crew look to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. Can you get the Orphean there safely? I mean, it should be pretty easy. Cruise control just makes it go on its own, huh? And R to scavenge. Wreck drifts here. Ooh. The wreck of the Ozymandias. The wreck hangs in the sky, pocketed with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments of waxed canvas lined with felt to protect against the cold of the sky. Two of the crews are whispering as they dress. What business does Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyway? Why the devil did we trespass on the districts of the dead? You silence him. Now's not the time. Leap across us to the wreck. The gap between the two engines isn't wide, but the endless fathoms of heaven gape beneath it. Leading the way. You jump. Your stomach lurches with vertigo as the stars blaze above you, and below the air of heavens is thin and torn by unpredictable winds. When your boot hits the running board of the Ozymandias, and your leather-gloved hands fumble for a hold, one of your companions throw you a line, and you lash the two engines together. Only then do the rest of the boarding party follow you. One of them forces open an exterior hatch, and you clamber inside. Her interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with the wind. Your party's lamps spread buttery light over the narrow-paneled messages. Never thought of it as buttery before, but okay. You make your way towards the hold, stepping over bodies crumpled in the corridors. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. A bulkhead has been mangled inward by a well-aimed barrage. Clear the obstruction away. You locate a length of pipe to use the pry bar and set to work. This will test your iron skill. Iron is the skill of confronting and overcoming. Lead your party on a more precarious path. Go back into the Ozymandias Hall. Climb past the blockage and enter through a window at the far side, and do so carefully. Veils is the skill of deceiving and evading. Your iron gives you a 75% chance of success. Success. A memory. As you strain against the stubborn steel, you remember an event from a year ago. A boiler explosion had trapped an engineer under a tangle of plating and pipework. The captain was first on the scene. You were second. Together you managed to pry the wreckage upward enough for you to crawl beneath it, while the captain braced the bar are across her back. By all means, take your time, she grunted as you drag the engineer out. Back in the present, the twisted bulkhead yields. Your companions clear the exposed rubble away. The way is clear. You have reached the Osmodeus' hold, a ruin of smashed cargo and spilled supplies. Hopefully somewhere amidst the Detritus, you can find parts to repair the Orthian and restock your stores. Conduct a thorough search. Your companions work quickly. As the Ozymandias' hull begins to creak, your actions on board may have compromised its integrity. Renewed. You find enough food and gear to restock your supplies, and enough spare parts to make necessary repairs to Orpheon. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course, but you've eaten worse in the skies. "Oh-ho!" cries one of your party, prying the lid off a long crate. It holds a cannon, still nestled in straw. Another crewman pulls a battered bird cage from a pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and furried opens a sullen eye. You examine your finds. You gained 4 supplies and 15 hull. Which I think hull is health. The Osmodeus emits a long juddering creak. Your boarding party exchanges a nervous glance. From the chaos of its hold, you retrieved repairs and supplies and discovered some useful equipment. A gun that could be mounted on your locomotive and an educated bat. What? Mount the Jerusalem cannon on the Orthian. Her own weapons were damaged during flight from the Blue Kingdom. That leaves you vulnerable. You can claim both this and the bat. Liberate a diffident bat and employ it as a scout. The heavens are wide, so locomotives use scouts, like bats, to locate things of interest. Ports, resources, wrecks, like this one, to scavenge. You can claim both this and the cannon. The bat reaches its rescue as an inconvenience and immediately begins haggling over pay. You offer to put it back in the damn cage and leave it on the Asmodeus, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it will last. A defiant bat. Amidst a long jabbering, yeah. Fire and fury. The counterel and youthful surge. Jerusalem fires a single shell to a good range, more or less accurately. You order 2 of your party to get back to your vessel and fit it immediately. Groans again. The structure shudders spasmodically. Press on to the engine room. You might find more fuel there, but you had better hurry. The Asmodeus is beginning to tear apart. The wreckage screeches as metal buckles and tears. You press on to the shuddering corridor, searching frantically for the engine room. Send a small party ahead to retrieve the fuel. Go yourself and conduct a hasty search. 50% chance of success. 50. It's foolish for all of you to go. Send your quickest and lightest to retrieve the fuel while the rest of you return to the Orthian. Hearts is the skill of convincing and endearing. Send the rest of the boarding party back to her. Mirrors is the skill of investigating and deducing. Failure. The engine room is gray with spilled ash and littered with corpses. Little has survived. You search fruitlessly.
Ozymandias. 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 Ozymandias.
For coal, but linger too long as the wreck is racked with final violent tremor. You race back to Orthian. The dying ground splits in 2, sending shards of splinter plating spinning into the sky. Several of them bite into the Orthian, mauling its hull. Stoking your engines, you steam away from the collapsing wreck. You are restocked at least and rearmed. Ow! Alright, let's stop cruising. Have to send out your scout. Cost supplies. Well, that's not what I expected. There's something. To see what it is, open your chart. What do you mean my chart? Summoned by Captain Whitlock. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with hodgepodge of curios from across the sky. Captain Whitlock lies in bed. Black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. When she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. Inquire after the captain's injuries. Approach the bedside. The brand. A word of living fire pursued the Orthian across the Blue Kingdom. It caught you just before you passed through the transit relay to the Reach and set its brand upon the captain. It's burned itself right through her, the doctor whispers. When I closed the worst of her wounds, I could see the sign is searing into her bones and her organs. Judging from her symptoms, it's on the inside of her lungs, too. Captain leans to one side and vomits a plume of fire into a copper bowl. There is nothing the doctor can do. Approach the bedside. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hands grip your arms. Her skin is hot as a kettle. Made arrangements. The Orthian will be yours. Her voice is just as rasp of burned meat breath. But promise, she breaks off to scream a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker, her request a little more than a gasp. Promising one last service. Promise. Promise her you will obey her last command. Make no promise. Tell her to rest. Pull away. What if her condition is contagious? Demand to know why she took the Orthian to the Blue Kingdom. She sinks back, relieved. All in my will. She grasps. Be a better. She breaks off the sigil burned into her bones, flare, glowing cherry red through her flesh and skin. Be a better captain than I. The effort exhausts her. She sinks back into a scorched pillow and a twisted, frantic fever. The walls... Take your leave. You leave the cabin to scorch stink of its air behind and return to the bridge. New Winchester is further than you like, and the captain hasn't long left. Uh-oh, we only have it on the front. Whew! I am not good at aiming this. Let's see though. Chugga chugga choo choo, bitch! Ha ha! Right on through. Just a bam bam bam. You prepare to board the buckled wreckage, poised to plunder the plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming a song of victory. Raid the remains. Marauders pillage homesteads and hunt travelers all across the Reach. They often carry stolen valuables. Strip it for repairs. Yes. Putting it to use. Your engineers scour the remains of the Marauder for intact parts. Even before its defeat, it was rusting and rickety. Its plating and patchwork will reclaim steel and repurposed bronze wood, but enough to be salvaged to repair some of the damage to your locomotive. Charts. That's what the scout discovered. Excellent job, Scoutington. Bancroft's Forum. Interesting. New Winchester, 512 experience gained. You coast into a bustle, the din instead of the steam of Wolvesey Station. It is clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorer gleaming from frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the siding than a brusque station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. I must speak with your captain, he says, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities. He has disappeared at your shoulder. His face is solemn. His hat is in his hands. He lowers his eyes. The passing. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The Orthian itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that unfortunately, Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad, very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even amidst tragedy and cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority requires their answer from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It will be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? Oh, we're out of the tutorial now. We're on to making our character. Our first Okay. Well, we're just starting off strong, aren't we? Okay, create your captain. Today, London lies between the stars. Her new empire unfolds across the heavens. 10 years ago, before the Northern Gate was opened, before the renewed Empress led her people into the skies, It lay in vast caverns far beneath the earth, deep, dark, marvelous. Who were you then? A street urchin. No parents, no law, no masters, but also no roof over your head, no money, and often no dinner. Freedom comes at a price. You will begin with high veils, a skill of evading and deceiving. A soldier. Yours was not to reason why. Yours was but to do and die. You will begin with high iron, the skill of confronting and overcoming. The pen, the ink, the blank monstrous page. It will begin with high hearts and the skill of convincing and endearing. An academic, the sciences, arts, and philosophy. You will begin with high mirrors, the skill of investigating and deducing. A priest. You will begin with high hearts, the skill of convincing and endearing. A sailor of the Untersee. You see, Sunless Sea was the game that came before this, but it was suggested by one of the people in the reviews that you should play Sunless Sky first, since they don't really go hand in hand. They're more like two standalone games with the same base idea. You will begin with high iron, the skill of confronting and overcoming. A ministry auditor. For a time you served as a you begin with high mirrors, the skill of investigating and deducing. A revolutionary. Okay. I guess I'll start with I want to go with either soldier or poet. I'll go with soldier. You were a soldier. You served in Her Majesty's military, but how exactly? In the Royal Horse Guard, in the Corps of the Royal Engineers, in the Commissariat. So this is where we pick our second skill we're good at. You served in the Blues, conducting labyrinthian ceremonial duties and defending Her Majesty's person. Increase your heart, the skill of convincing and endearing, and affiliates you with Bohemia. You were a sapper, a mechanic, an architect, an inventor, all while shells fell and bullets flew. Increase your mirrors, the skill of investigating and deducting, and increase your affiliates you with the establishment. The army marches on its stomach. You had to find supplies by whatever means necessary. Increases your veils, skill of deceiving and evading, and affiliates you with the villainy. I don't think I want to be affiliated with a place called the Villainy. I guess we'll just go with Bohemia. Choose an ambition. What does winning mean to you? Wealth, fame, the truth. I honestly feel like for this character, the captain just died, and you don't know for what reason. Why did you go to the Blue Kingdom? Why were you there? What was your captain's orders? What did they die for? Best played by a lineage that has already completed wealth or fame. Even the stars have secrets, but they won't keep them from you. A message from an old friend begins an unwise quest to learn the secrets of the stars hide. What drives you? Curiosity, justice, insolence? Whatever it is, it will be tested. Wealth. You want a comfortable retirement, and by comfortable you mean extravagant. Many have made their fortunes out among the stars. Many more have failed, broken, and lost in the drifting night. Will you be different? To win, gather a substantial retirement fund, acquire lodging at a hub port, and retire. Fame. You will immortalize your exploits in the songs of the sky. For centuries, people have launched themselves into the unknown in the hope of making a name for themselves. You're sure you'll succeed. After all, you never heard of anyone who didn't. Gather stories of your... You never heard of anyone who didn't. Isn't that the point? Gather stories of your exploits and write about them in New Winchester. Alright. I guess we'll go with fame. Yes, that's my hat. And we'll go with short hair. Kind of a furrowed brow. Yeah, that's a good nose. Chin. We can't see the chin. Not really. Outfit. There. Terms of address: specialist, doctor, professor, officer, archivist. This will determine what people call you, captain. Call your captain, but your captain's gender is up to you. Principal, administrator, secretary, intendant, nurse, comrade, brother, sister, reverend, madam, sir, citizen, captain. I'm Captain Pirate Monkey. I was a soldier in the Royal Horse Guards. My ambition is to fame. Not great at deducing, and I'm not great at lying, but I'm a fantastic at getting shit done myself, and I'm good at getting people to do shit too. So when it comes to getting shit done, I am the shit getter. The shit getter, yeah. 3 weeks have passed. Wow. Reading of the will. This morning, Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to a necropolis train bound for the Serene Mausoleum. Now you sit with a handful of her relatives in the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. There we go. The captain was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. Listen to the end. The captain's relatives, from whom she mostly estranged, are clearly wondering why you are here. Listen to the end. True to her word, in a final codicil, the notary announces, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orthian was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry, gray eyes. This includes a certain black box containing the Orthian's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request that, at a time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card and deposits it there. You are not to look inside. She gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The Orthian is yours. Captain Whitlock's legacy. You can investigate the black box in New Winchester. You could take the box to London as requested, or you can sell it and be done. You have been bequeathed a large black box with once belonged to Captain Whitlock. You now have 100 sovereign. Well, of course I'm going to take it to London. Who just has their captain, who obviously I liked, die, and then just sell the box like a bastard? The glamorous central station of New Winchester, a place of steam and smut and thundering iron. Here you can find people willing to pay for a skilled captain's services. There, I got a little bit more fuel and a little bit more. Jumble of undistinguished souls. The bottles are as ordinary as the souls that coil inside them. What? Selection of immaculate souls. What? Caged catch. Pane of stained glass. Caddy of dried tea, bronze wood, carefully packed crate of munition, gourd of coarser nectar, barrel of unseasoned hours, crate of nostalgic cockery. What is my cargo? I see, I don't have any of these. I have 3 fuel. I don't have any jumperling nectar or of those seeds, and I'm too poor to buy any. So I guess it's just off into the... After much flair, you're about missed to find something. Blue Kingdom Transit Relay. Victory Hall. The Assembly, a coalition of independent-minded settlers colloquially called Tacites, gather and argue here, deliver A report is here to receive rewards and win the tactics favor. Jesus. Your lineage is inherited a large black box from Captain Amelia Whitlock. She requested that it be delivered to an address in London, unlocked, then left there. You can investigate the box at New Winchester. New Winchester. Captain Whitlock left it to you in the hold of the Orphean. Her will is described only as a black box, a description you consider to be an unhelpful understatement. It is a casket of black basalt, longer than you are tall, adorned with a single small recess that contains a keyhole, the thing that must weigh most of a ton. It stands upright in the corner of the hold where the crew have pushed it out of the way. Captain Whitlock has a specific request. Whether you obey it is up to you. Do remember that Captain Whitlock required the box. Examine the box. Sell the box as a curiosity. Preparations. Captain Whitlock had it brought on board just before your ill-fated expedition to the Blue Kingdom. It was empty then, you know, because you saw the lid and the box carried on board separately, and assembled it in the hold. It's not empty now. It is sealed and even heavier than before. But you left for the Blue Kingdom shortly after the box was delivered, and made no stops on the way. So whatever is inside the box now, Captain Whitlock found in the Blue Kingdom. Interesting. Examine the box. Okay. Closed fast. There are no carvings or inscriptions on it. The joint where the lid meets the body is too thin to admit even a knife blade. There are no holes by which light or air might find their way in. It is impossible to see inside without opening it. Even the keyhole has been engineered in such a way as to prevent peeking. Recessed with the keyhole, though, as far as you can determine, that it is a more recent addition to the box. The stone has been drilled and chiseled away to create space for a modern metal lock. Alright. Consult with an academic. You need an uncanny specimen. You need an affiliation as academe. You are aware of a lisping cracksman who commands an adequate reputation and an affordable fee. You need affiliation with the villainy too, and you need 200 sovereign. Pick the lock yourself, which is not something I'm going to do. You need a savage secret. Or detonate the lock with a modest explosion. Yeah, no. Consider what to do with it. Decisions. The last request of Captain Amelia Whitlock was for the box to be transported to a specific address in London. Alternatively, you could perhaps find someone willing to purchase it as a curiosity, and if you knew what was inside, you might be able to command a higher price. Excuse me, Captain. A woman pushes through the crowd towards you. She is short and square-shouldered, in a neat black suit and polished shoes. She shows you the case of her pocket watch. It is embossed with the crown and the hourglass of London's horological office. The buyer responsible for ensuring time is consistent across the empire. I'm hoping to book passage to Port Prosper. She she says, slipping the watch away. I can, of course, pay. Pay sounds promising. A new passenger. Thank you. The locomotive I was on broke down following a boiler rupture. The chief engineer's fault, I suspect. The gentleman fonder of brandy than diligence. Here an initial sum to seal our bargain. Prosper lies to the north-northeast of New Winchester. Not that there is such a thing as north, south, east, or indeed west out here. Instead, London cartographers picked 4 of the brighter, more reliable stars visible from the Empress's new palace and named them north, east, south, and west. Londoners value familiarity. You are transporting a fastidious inspector to Port Prosper. You now have 50 sovereign. I specialize in test driving, but I'm looking for something quieter. The driver indicates a crashed engine, still smoking, like that without the screaming. Officers require a sign-on fee. Allow the driver to join your crew? What harm can it do? This will give you a chief engineer who will increase your iron by 6, your heart by 2, and your affiliation establishment by 1. The slow-burning war for the Reach forms the backdrop to the daily life in the New Winchester. Citizens wishing to keep up with developments in the war turn to the New Gazette. It is famously the only newspaper worth reading in New Winchester, as well the only paper that hasn't bankrupted itself. Its quality speaks for itself. Here you can read about the progress of the war, check your reputation with the factions, and who currently controls the Reach. In the Reach, you will learn who currently controls the Reach. Search the New for your name. Your name does not appear in any of the Takati-focused reportings on the war. Apparently you are not considered worthy of a comment. There's no mention of you among the stories of the stovepipes, recent fortunes. You are not of interest to them. Explore the city. Learn about trading. A porter at the station advises you to visit a nearby pub, the Promise of Days, and talk to the seasoned captain there. They keep their ears to the ground. They'll know about an opportunity or two. Visiting the Promise of the Day is one of the options when exploring the city. A trading opportunity. Visit the Promise of the Day. Okay. Old pistons gleam on the walls. Shelves are crowded with mementos from across the sky. The clientele raise their voices to be heard above the comforting clamor of the adjacent engine yards. You may find helpful advice here. Introduce yourself to the seasoned captains. They are always happy to offer words of advice, sometimes many words. Instructions. 4 are gathered at their usual table. The masked citizen, a libertine, polymath, and pioneer of the neo-nocturnal artistic school. The bedevil, the didact, a scholar haunted by his discoveries. The plucky baroness, explorer, collector, philatelist, and spatchcocker, Meg, who hunts monsters. Of course, everything out here is jolly dangerous, says the baroness. Few risks the skies, so news of distant ports is valuable. Collect port reports from the places you visit and deliver them to Victory Hall or Company House. The more you turn in at once, the more they'll pay. Look for other opportunities on the way, advises the masked citizen. Passengers who want to transport rich men in need of bloody work, etc. Ah, the didact says, fiddling with his innumerable talismans. An essential topic. Meg slides you a stool and the captain shuffles around to make room. The masked citizen buys you a drink of their own invention. It's a violet and foggy, and plucky baroness gives you a brisk, encouraging grin. Ask away. You can sell practically anything at a big trade hub like New Winchester, the Baroness answers. If you want to buy, though, you'll need to travel to more distant ports. Each specializes in particular exports. Meg spits chewing tobacco on the floor. No money in buying at market prices and selling at them, too. Though you want to look for bargains, or prospects of people offering better money. Buy cheap, sell dear. You can sell, not buy, any trade good at a major port. Lesser ports each sell a single good. You can see what a port exports by selecting it on your chart. The mass citizen sips their drink. The biggest port in each region has a bazaar where captains do business. There you'll learn of people at other ports prepared to pay over the odds for commodity. When you accept the commission for a prospect, it's yours. No other captain will pursue it. It's all fantastically civilized. Their smile is droll. You'll have to source the goods yourself, of course, says the bedeviled didact. Find a port that exports them. The client will want a certain amount. You can supply some or all of it, but if you provide all they need, they may furnish you with an additional reward. Okay. The host at Magdalene's needs an urgent delivery of seeds, paying a pretty penny too. If I were you, I'd get to the bazaar straight away, put my mark against it. May grunts. Broker in Port Evan is selling cheap seeds. Chirpy chap, God knows why. His face looks like it's been pushed through a mangle. An opportunity. Port Evan lies to the west, northwest of New Winchester, and Magdalene lies to the northwest east of New Winchester. Trapisto's hurry. It's at northeast. Terror. This is company house. Seems the longer we're out in the skies, the more our terror gauge fills. That's what I thought, motherfucker. Stop clock. The fastidious inspector approaches you in the galley. Captain, good day. I notice your ship's clock has stopped. Perhaps you'd permit me to repair it. She has a little case of tools and hopeful expression. You prefer things to be right more than twice a day. You pay engineers to deal with that sort of thing. I'll permit it. An opportunity for conversation. She gives a grateful flicker of a smile and sets to work. Soon she has the back off the clock and has spread tiny cogs across the galley table. Obscure horological tools gleam brassily among them. Everything has a place. I appreciate the opportunity to keep myself busy. Staring too long at the stars is harmful to the temperament. It's tempting to fix your locomotive clock. Inspector has a round face, brown eyes, and short dark hair. She gives the impression of being perpetually busy. Okay. Thank you, she says, a small embarrassed silence. It's possible she isn't pleased. It's rather hard to tell. Inquire about her work. She sniffs. It is of fundamental importance that 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in one corner of the Empire occurs at the same time as 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in the opposite corner. How is an empire to function if it can't agree what day it is? Unfortunately, the process is complicated by the fact that time is less reliable than it was. The hours trade has seen to that. Ask for news of London. homesickness. London sits in her coat of smog. Courtiers squabble at the foot of the throne of hours, hoping to receive endowments of years. Meanwhile, hard-working civil servants labor to ensure everything runs as it should. Was there a touch of archness there? All is normal. I miss her, though. There is no city like London in all the skies, and Albion is very different from the Reach, much more civilized. The fastidious inspector has a round face. Okay. Discuss the Reach. It has an uncouth splendor, but I miss Albion, and the steady light of the clockwork sun. These sunless reaches are so misty and quiet, she pauses, but critical. The territories here are rich with raw hours, and enough vegetation grow on them to feed the whole of London, even if some of its dubious shape. Sunless Skies. We warred and we won. It's not my area of expertise, I'm afraid. The sun's made the law, they say. Now Her Majesty makes it. As for Reach's son, she looks through the window at the lightless, stirring mists. I don't know. Do suns grow old? Do they die of natural causes? I think that would probably be better than the alternative, wouldn't it? Compliment her skills one last time. And I guess bid her good evening. Alright. Go, Bat, we have some supplies to burn. What is that? Oh! Ooh! Your heat bar is full! The crew of this weathered engine has been driven mad by the winds and the stars and things that haunt the sky. Perhaps the engine has transported something valuable and the crew has come to star madness. Gain random treasures. Search for survivors. No. Two uncanny specimens. You have learned from your experience. Oh, I think I leveled. Take a facet. What did the winds of fate hold in store? You came close that day to death. It left its mark. A scandal. You were the gossip of London's salons and a target of blistering editorials in the gossip. Mad, they said. Bad, they said. Dangerous to know. A spell in prison. The judge, stony-faced, either 5 veil and 3 heart, or 5 veil and 3 iron. The judge, stony-faced, condemned you to New Newgate, the Celestite prison of old London. An interlude in red and gold. You lost your mind once. They put you in a splendid hotel managed by a cheery gentleman who would determine when you could leave. 5 mirror, and either 3 iron or 3 veil. Hold the line, your order said, so you fought and bled on a foreign field far from home. 5 iron and 3 veil. L plus 1 affiliation with villainy, or 5 iron, 3 heart, and 1 affiliation with Bohemia. I think I'm going to go with an interlude to red and gold. And I'm going to pick... you lost your mind. How colorful the other guests were. How red at the curtains. How gold the fitting. How secure the locks. Eventually you were allowed to leave. But was your recovery genuine? Yes, you're feeling much better. Thank you. Through trial and error, the determination you learned to tell what is from and what is not. The manager said he was sad to see you go. No, you just learned to lie. You said what you had to and they sent you home. Even now your world is red and gold and splendid. That's something. Bar Sealar's Folly. Is that another aggressive? Yep! Oh. Reach Marauder. Ow, hit. You prepare to board the buckled wreckage. Poised to plunder the plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming the song of victory. Board the defeat. To victor goes the spoils. The crew of marauders lie dead in the corridors, killed not by your guns, but by knives and small arms fire. The only survivor is the captain, locked in the brig with a bottle of brandy. Chalk eyes stare back from every wall. When he ran out of chalk, he began scraping them in with his fingernails. Little remains of them, but bloodied stumps. Seen this before, Captain, says a crew member, grasping your arm. Sky madness. Magdalene can treat it if you can be bothered to take the poor sod. Take the poor fellow on board. Thy wilderness is cruel. This could easily be you one day. The crew wrap the sky-maddened captain in blankets and secure them tightly with belts. It takes 4 to transport him safely to your locomotive. He might not be happy restrained, but it should keep him from harm until you get him to Magdalene's. Magdalene's lies to the north-northwest of New Winchester. The captain secured you have a moment to see whether there's anything worth on his locomotive before abandoning it to the wilderness. You have one tale of terror. You prepared to board loot the hull, strip the engine for materials. I could really use some health. Okay, let's check our chart. North-northwest. So that would be that way. So somewhere around here. But we're going to go to this question mark first. So far we're doing pretty good. Could definitely use some money. March 24th, 1905. What is that? Incautious driver, is that? No, it's slightly different from the one I crashed into. Those who live so far beyond the edge of civilization relish the hardship of solitude. They will fiercely defend their small territories, but occasionally welcome company and trade. Here's an abandoned homestead. Its roof sagged, its windows empty of glass. For every settler that makes a life for themselves in the reach, another is lost. Success! Yes! Booty! You find a bottle of homemade wine in the cellar. Pots of meat pickling under the soil by a doorstep, and salvageable tools and overgrown shed. Modest treasures that could mean the difference between life and death if your fortunes turn. Alright, nice. Well, that was something. So the supplies keep me and the crew fed. The fuel keeps the locomotive going. It lies to the north-northeast of New Winchester. North-northeast. Are you kidding me? A wonder, a horror, something ghastly, something grave, something that glisters, something to crave. The last part of this legend index is just a fucking poem. Bring me some good news, Bat. Well, that's something. Your bat returns in a huff and spends 10 minutes complaining about what it found. Ooh, a busted down locomotive. The Finlayson. The wreck, Captain. Your driver informs you. Might be worth a wee look. They add it delicately. The wreck gleams with frost. Its windows are dark, its engine silent. Perhaps something of value lies within. 30% chance. Enter through the yawning tear in the hull. Damage is so extensive that the whole chassis is on the verge of collapse. Tread lightly. Mourn the dead. Your terror has fallen. Well, that's something. I wish I could have gotten on, or at least looted some of the metal. Eek. Something grave. Oh god, what is that? A forsaken structure, ruined by time. I can't. I don't have an assaying. A place of peace, contemplation, and rest. The driver twitches miserably. What the hell? There. This isn't the place I need to go to, but everything. For some cases of sleepless night, lost in formless terror, persistent night terrors, and elusive dreams, more severe treatments are required. Man. This is north-northwest, which means if I go this way, it should lead to other places, other ports and stuff. Because this would be north-northeast. That's out of my reach. Your scout relays its findings. I wish I found something a little closer. Raid the safe. Gain sovereigns. Seek unusual items. You now have one silenced stewed gossip. The cabin door did not survive the onset of your gun, nor did the captain. You have to tread carefully. Carpet will not be saved. A few scorched documents sit on the bronzewood desk. They make for interesting reads. Apparently London has need of a few brave captains willing to bring fire to the Tacites. You would not have expected signatories of the order. $25 sovereign. What the hell are you firing at? Filling out more of my map is important. Woohoo! Dodge! Ow. Ow. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh. Out of range. Woo-hoo-hoo! Wait, I have a dodge keys. Got a shotgun. The passes are perilous. Oh. You have won visions of heaven. It's found nothing. It's found nothing. Let's leave this horrid place. And the locomotive's too damaged to keep going through this constant punishment. Oh, there's light there. Maybe there's a port. That's a wall. The sky here is cold and watchful. Havenwood. Ow, that's damage. It's safer to try and make it to Magdalene's than trying to make it back to New Winchester. I just found the horn button. I think this part of the game is just trying to chart out the map. Find out what's where and when. Trying to just scrounge by until you can figure out enough to where you can start making some money. What? Okay, no, you're still picking a fight with them. Nurses bring a stretcher to carry the Sky Madden captain from your train. He'll receive the care of Magdalene's finest. At least Magdalene's finest with a sense of charity, given that he has nothing on him to pay for their ministrations. Nice. He has requested you by name? An attendant escorts you through the dazzling violet corridors. The host's red door is always open. The attendant leaves you just as the clock begins to chime. The amenable host reclines on a couch of crushed velvet. A goblet of sparkling wine in his long fingers. Somewhere in the tower above him, the great clock ticks away. As a policy, the host's atrium is always open to guests. He is available to hear opinions, friendly criticism, and suggestions. Today, he has a headache. Keep back too close. His voice is soft and sibilant, like butter melting in candlelight. There's people in like candle like butter. Like, what is happening with butter light? A guest has become rather too attached to a particular attendant. He always requests that the same attendant appear in the exact same guise. The amenable host's lips curl in distaste. He reiterates the aim of Magdalene's, a place of healing and respite. It is not meant to feed the obsessions or self-indulgent self-loathing. This guest brings sickness. I would have him purged. I have a dossier on our guest, if you're interested in helping. Okay. Of healer and patient. The amenable smiles indulgently. I'm so glad you want to help. He produces a thin sliver of pages and passes them to you. I'd recommend taking on the role of one of our attendants. That way you'd be playing the role of someone significant to him. The amenable host sighs, reaching for his goblet. He knows all of our attendants by voice now. Someone new is needed. How do you plan to deal with him? A treatment chamber has been emptied for you. Should you wish to adopt a guise from his past, alternatively he is standing right there. He does not seem to have noticed you. His eye is instead boring through the door of the treatment room. guest's eyes widen as you approach. Has there been a problem? You invite him to sit. Stiff brandies are ordered. You recount your own shares of heartbreak and tragedies, how you found yourself here, and you make clear that despite all that, you will be leaving. He nods slowly, and after a quick shake of your hand, walks away towards the station. He does not look back. Host smiles beatifically. Of course, my staff will be pleased. It is a risk of our trade, when our clients can no longer separate identity and illusion, but seldom pleasant. He sighs deeply, echoing around the chamber like a newly freed dove. It is a trap any of us could fall into. His face darkens briefly. Here, take this. He fishes around beneath his couch for one of his goblets. It'll fetch a pretty price. Take it with my thanks, and do visit us again. You have done the amenable host a significant favor. You've gained 100 sovereign. That was worth. That was so worth. It is abuzz with activity. Barely has the clock chimed, then a clamor goes up at the front desk. Guests rushing to and from appointments. Lord Blank has been in conversation with the amenable host. The East Wing is closed for general access all day. A certain distinguished admiral was seen with his second-in-command entering one of the chambers of regret. Several guests succumbed to the excess of sentimentality and were forcibly removed. To earn rewards, hand your reports into the Endurant Veteran or the Prudent Secretary. They are normally found at Victory Hall or Company House, docks near New Winchester. However, they can move as the war and reach progresses. The Glass Spires of Magdalene's PD. Okay. Shop. The Bazaar. No, I don't have anything for that. I could use some more fuel. There. Still got a bit of money on me, and I'm doing better on supplies. But we're gonna have to end it there. So thank you all for watching. But if you enjoyed it, follow me here on YouTube, ring the little bell, and that way you'll be notified whenever a new video drops. But thanks again for watching. Have an amazing day, and just keep looting.